Hey everybody, Jameson with 4 Leaves Glass, and it is the holidays, and I have officially closed my website, at least for now, so it's showing under maintenance, so that I could enjoy making things for myself and trying to learn and experiment instead of trying to fulfill orders. So I, in the interest of experimenting, am going to try to do a couple of things for the very first time, or for my first time anyway, and thought I would share with you as I went along. So hopefully you'll get some enjoyment out of this. I bought a while back some of these stainless steel formers. These happen to be from Laurie Spray, and some of this video may start to sound like a commercial for her, but I'm just being factual about where I got them. So I actually bought some third hand from someone else, and then I bought, I don't know, 2 from Laurie recently. And I wanted to try to use them to do all sorts of things, really. You know, want to do some scrap melts in them. I think that would be really cool. But for this first attempt, I want to do also a first for me, which is some strip construction. So I thought I would just film this as I go along. So this is that one of the metal forms that I bought from Laurie. This one measures 10 inches by 7 inches. And Laurie's website has some really great free information. One of them is to buy fiber paper that is on a roll, and it's 1 inch wide. And so I will line this with fiber paper. And so this is that cool roll of that. I haven't even opened it yet. So what I'll do is I'll line this entire thing with fiber paper. Where there's a joint, I'll put a little bit of paper behind it. I use papyrus, so I'll put a little paper behind the joint just for some insurance. I will fire this on a kiln shelf that I've put fiber paper down on. And then she also recommends that if you're really careful when you remove your piece, if you've sprayed the fiber paper with zip, sometimes you can get multiple uses out of that with the fiber paper inside. I would like to try to do that as well. So I'm going to line this with fiber, or excuse me, with fiber strip here. And then I will spray it, and then I'll put it on fiber paper, and we will start to load this up. Here's the glass that I'm using. There was a widower here locally who had a bunch of glass that his wife used to use, and I bought, oh my gosh, a whole ton of scrap from her, or from him, that was her old glass. And so I sorted it because it was all in a big mess. And I found that she had a bunch of French vanilla. I'm thinking this was a Cascade, Bullseye's French vanilla turquoise Cascade. And I don't know where she was going with it, but there are a ton of these strips. And they're in different sizes, as you can see. And I don't know if she already made a project and this is what was left, or I don't know if she envisioned doing something, but because she had all of these pre-cut strips, some of them are different, you know, widths, I might have to cut these down. And because I found a bunch of other just French vanilla scrap, I decided to make a strip piece using this. I don't know if that's what she was using it for, but I decided that's what I would do. And so I am going to very methodically and carefully cut and fit these pieces into this. Now I'm going to build this on my kiln shelf directly, so I may have to set up a separate camera angle to do that. But here we go. Where it doesn't fit, I'll make some of the cuts and thin them down a little bit. And we're just going to kind of go along with this and see what happens. Okay, I just have to take a moment to show you. I put some glass in a pan last night, these strips, because they were kind of dirty. Added a little Dawn dish soap and put them out here to soak overnight. And I just had to say, look at that crazy bubble pattern that I found this morning. I just think that's super cool. Okay, on to the next step. Okay, so I put the fiber paper inside the form. I did spray it with zip. Now, some of the tutorials that you'll read say to put the fiber paper lower so that basically you form a bullnose on the glass and it kind of curves down to the fiber paper. My glass is a little the size ranges, I guess. And so I'm just going to go all the way up the side. I may get some spiking, basically is the point of this, that I might get some spiking on the side, but I'm kind of okay with cold working it a little bit. So here we go. Okay, so here we go. This is now done. As you saw, I was using, tweezers to kind of get little pieces in and fill in the gaps. And generally, I'm pretty pleased. So I've got this now full. There are, variations in the size. You can see that. That's kind of a cool texture, though. These two pieces have, kind of little peaks on them. And I don't think I'm going to do a full fuse on this. I'm going to give this some thought. But I'm thinking I might do more of a contour fuse because I would kind of like to see some of that texture come out in the final piece. So I'll decide on a firing schedule and fire this and let you know what it turns out to be. Okay, here it is. I just opened the kiln. It's too hot to take out, so I'll take it out and inspect it a little bit. There is some texture to this, which I wanted. Actually, I could have lived with even a little bit more texture. I'm probably going to have to do some cold working around the edges. It looks like I have a little bit of spiking, but we'll take it out and give it a good look here in a little bit. I took it to 1425 and held it for 30 minutes. And so you can see all the great reactions between the turquoise and the French vanilla. I'm excited to pull this out and take another look. Okay, here it is. I cleaned it up, and so it popped right out of the form. The form came off flawlessly, so I'll be able to use that form and that fiber strip inside it again. I did get a few spikes on the edges, and so I took a grinder to that and just ground the edges down. Kind of used a fine bit. If I had cold working equipment, I might, get it even more perfect, but I think it's beautiful the way it is, and I don't have all that equipment in my small studio. So now this piece is, let's see here, about 9 millimeters thick, 9.3 millimeters thick, kind of depends on where you measure it, 9. So, thicker than your standard piece, and boy, you can feel it. It's really, it's heavy, it's substantial. You can see on the back kind of that pattern that you get, but I like the front. I liked the 1425 for a half an hour. I probably could have gone for more like 15 or 20 minutes to get even more texture, which might have been a cool look as well. Okay, I've got it ready to go into a slump on this shallow mold. Let's see what it looks like when it comes out. All right, here it is. And I am delighted by this. I am so excited how this turned out. So I did a shallow slump in a Bullseye rectangular slumper, and it's, like I said, about 7.5 or so millimeters thick. It is nice and heavy and substantial and just gorgeous. So you see the pattern underneath. You could have fired it this way. I think it would have looked awesome, or slumped it, this way, which would have looked great, but I liked kind of the more organic surface. I only took this to 1425 degrees, so I have this nice texture that's on here, and I got the light table out. Check that out. You can see the blue through there. Isn't that cool? So if you enjoyed this, please check on some of my other videos, and I may be making more of these. This was a blast. I put my firing notes down in the video description, which is the little bitty arrow right underneath the video. If you like these, subscribe. I try to publish almost a couple times a month now, and please share it with your friends. Have a great one, everybody. Bye-bye.